Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of The Traitor's Emblem by Juan GOmez-Jurado, translated from the Spanish by Daniel Hahn, and narrated by Jonathan Davis.
A quote from William Shakespeare, from Henry V, Act 2, Scene 2. Treason and murder ever kept together, as two yoke devils sworn to either's purpose, working so grossly in a natural cause that admiration did not whoop at them. But thou, gainst all proportion, didst bring in wonder to wait on treason and on murder. And whatsoever cunning fiend it was that wrought upon thee so preposterously hath got the voice in hell for excellence.
And now, The Traitor's Emblem.
Prologue. The Straits of Gibraltar. March 12th, 1940. When the wave threw him against the gunwale, it was pure instinct that made Captain Gonzalez grab at the wood, scraping the skin all the way down his hand. Decades later, by which time he'd become the most distinguished bookseller in Vigo, he would shudder as he remembered that night, the most terrifying and extraordinary of his life. While he sat in his armchair as an old, gray-haired man, his mouth would recall the taste of blood, saltpeter, and fear. His ears would remember the thundering of what they called the toppler of fools, the treacherous swell that takes less than 20 minutes to rise, and that seamen on the straits, and their widows, had learned to fear. And his astonished eyes would glimpse again something that, quite simply, could not have been there. When he saw it, Captain Gonzalez quite forgot that the engine was already struggling, that his crew was no more than 7 men when there should have been at least 11, that among them he was the only one who, just 6 months earlier, hadn't been seasick in the shower. He quite forgot that he'd contemplated pinning them to the deck for not having awoken him when all the pitching and rolling began. He held fast to a porthole in order to turn his body round and haul himself onto the bridge, bursting onto it with a blast of rain and wind that drenched the navigator. "Get away from my wheel, Roca!" he shouted, giving the navigator a hard push. "You're no earthly use to anyone."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?